What's up, everybody? This is Tadpole Superhero, and today is the first part of a series of short little kind of podcasty type videos. So if you don't want to watch it, you can put this on in the background and just listen. But this is going to be me recapping what I saw of E3. I wasn't there, but I was watching a lot of the streams and paying attention to a lot of the announcements and everything, especially Nintendo. So I'm going to be, as I'm recording all of this, as Day 3 of E3 is winding down, so I've also been watching the Treehouse live stream from Nintendo as well. So I'm going to be breaking down everything that I saw, everything that I cared about of what I saw, because I didn't care about everything that I saw. And then yeah, that's how it's going to go. So this part 1 is going to be probably all of the non-Nintendo stuff. So I'm going to start with, I did not watch any of the Day 1 press conferences, so I didn't watch Microsoft, EA, Ubisoft, Bethesda, or Sony. But I did keep up on all the announcements. I looked up all of the trailers for all of the games that were revealed or talked about, if there were new trailers for games we already knew about. And so first, let's get down to the games. Most of them were CG trailers, so when I say like this looks cool, what I mean is it looks like a cool idea. It's interesting, but I'm not sure if it'll be a cool game or not, because there was not a whole lot of gameplay on Day 1. But anyway, here are the video games, or the trailers that I was interested in. For Honor. For Honor is this game that is basically Knights versus Samurai versus Nike versus Nike. Knights versus Samurai versus Vikings. Yes, please, yes, all of the yes. That is just an idea that is right up my alley. I'm not big on ultra-violent games or super realistic games a lot of the time, but that concept basically says yes, I want this game right now, please. And it does look like it's going to be a very violent game, but of course there was no gameplay, so I don't know how it's going to play, but the idea excites me, so I'm looking forward to that. That's For Honor. Also, I'm going to be putting all the links to trailers for the games that I talk about in the description below, so check that out if any of these sound interesting to you and you didn't see anything about it. So anyway, next game that I thought, at least the trailer looked exciting, was Horizon, or I think it's actually, the full title is Horizon Zero, but it actually made me laugh big time at first because it was, it's a post-apocalyptic setting, which, you know, there's tons of those, but it talked about these grand cities and showed these skylines of modern day cities, and then showed the cities rust and decay, and then it said as the cities, basically I'm paraphrasing, but it was like the narrator was saying, as the cities faded, the earth came to life again, and I thought that was hilarious. It was like, as the skyscrapers fell, flowers bloomed again. I'm like, what is this? It's just really funny, because I mean, obviously we have modern day skyscraper cities existing alongside beautiful scenic nature stuff. The earth is just beautiful, but apparently no, flowers can only bloom if the skyscrapers fall. I thought it was pretty funny, but the concept of the game anyway, it looks pretty cool. It's tribal communities in this post-apocalyptic world. They use bows and arrows and hunt animals, but they're not normal animals. They are robot animals, and also robot dinosaurs. So we have primitive people with bows and arrows fighting against robot dinosaurs. Yes, sign me up. I want to see more of this. So that's Horizon Zero. Unravel was a really cutesy game that was shown off. They actually showed gameplay of it. It was a completely gameplay trailer, which was cool. And it's basically Yarn Yoshi, or Yoshi's Woolly World, without Yoshi. But the main character looks really cute. He's a yarn creature and trails yarn behind him as he travels through the world. And it's through a real world setting, so like he runs into crows and ravens and crosses the street and cars drive over him. It looks really pretty and really adorable. It's definitely on my radar. Unravel. Recore. This trailer really excited me, and it excited a lot of people, so I'm on board with that hype train. But it's another post-apocalyptic world. It shows this girl and her robot dog wandering through a desert. It looks like they're scavenging for resources and such, and they come across a cave, and inside there's all these like evil robot spider things, and they get into a big fight with them, and they're fighting them, and then they're outnumbered and outmatched, and they're about to get overrun, and then the robot dog jumps into the center of the spiders and starts charging up this special attack, and the girl's like, no, don't do it, but then the robot dog does it and blows up and destroys all the robot spiders, and all that's left of the dog is this glowing blue orb, its core, which is, I'm guessing, is where the title of the game comes from, Recore, and there's just the core left behind. And at first it's like, you know, if you're a dog lover like me, it's like, oh, the feels, they just killed the dog. But then she picks up the core and walks over to this, and when I say this, it's going to sound stupid, but the character designs in this game are amazing. She walks over to a robot gorilla, is what it is, but it looks awesome. And she puts the core into the robot skeleton, and the gorilla comes to life, and now that is her companion. And it showed at the end of the trailer showed off, sorry, I'm moving my notes around, showed off the girl standing alongside a bunch of different robot animals with cores inside them. So it looks like you're going to be able to have multiple cores and get a number of animal companions. It looks really cool. I want to actually see the game instead of a CG trailer, please. Anyway, that is Recore. Halo 5. I have to talk about Halo 5 because I've always been a fan of Halo since the first game. I haven't played Halo 4, but I've played all the other ones, including ODST and Reach. And I mean, there are just so many good memories associated with Halo for me. I've never owned an Xbox or Xbox 360 or Xbox One, but my brother did. And I mean, you know, me and him and a bunch of our friends would, you know, get together LAN parties for Halo 2, and he got Halo 3 on launch day at midnight, and we stayed up all night playing through the entire campaign on co-op. So Halo, it means a lot to me, and it's a great franchise. Halo 5 looks cool. I mean, it looks like Halo. It looks fun and exciting. It looks like they've introduced some kind of Call of Duty-ish elements, which I'm not entirely sure how I feel about them. I like Call of Duty, but I always felt like it was kind of cool that Halo was its own thing. But it could work out pretty good. I mean, the game, it was mostly gameplay, which was great, and it looks really fun. Also, the Covenant grunts are still hilarious. They showed one grunt running away from the main characters screaming, I wrote this down. Oh, he was screaming, "I regret everything!" And I burst out laughing. So that trailer is below in the description. Check it out, Halo 5. That was just, I mean, even if you're not into that game, that will probably still make you laugh. It was a really funny moment. There are also some super cool finishing moves in the game that I was like, whoa, that looks really cool. And then we had, moving on to Sony, they showed off some pretty cool trailers. I'm not going in order. I know some of these happened before Halo 5. Or some of the ones I already said happened after Halo 5, but whatever. Sony showed off, of course, Final Fantasy VII is getting a remake. Cool. I really don't like the original Final Fantasy. Go ahead, eat me alive. Kill me in the comments. I don't care. I played through at least half the game, and there was never a moment where I was like, wow, this is really cool. Like, I just never liked the original game. I like Final Fantasy, but I kind of like the more classic style Final Fantasy. Like, Final Fantasy 1 is one of my favorite Final Fantasy games. So that tells you a lot. I'm not a big fan of Final Fantasy VII, but the remake looks stunning. Absolutely stunning, and I'm definitely going to give it a fresh look to see if, you know, if I like it this time around. They're also remaking, or not remaking, they're making Shenmue 3. I never played the original Shenmues or anything, but that's exciting for fans of the original games. And they also showed off Last Guardian, which looks awesome. That was actually my most, one of the games I was most excited about from the Sony conference, which I didn't watch the conference, but there's rain outside my window, so I hope that's not making too much noise. But yes, Last Guardian looks adorable and amazing, and the entire trailer was entirely gameplay. I'm very excited for it. I'm glad it's alive. It looked really interesting the first time it was revealed. I'm excited for it. So anyway, that's the thing. It looks really cool. That was actually the game that got me most excited from the Sony conference. Not Final Fantasy VII, not Shenmue 3, Last Guardian. But also, actually, this was another game I was really excited about in Final Fantasy. World, or Worlds, I'm not sure if it's World or Worlds, of Final Fantasy. It's basically a super cute chibi Final Fantasy and I love it. I love cutesy games. I love the cuter style of Final Fantasy. It looks really fun. It's a turn-based RPG where both the characters and the monsters have chibi forms, and they can also become big and more like fully detailed characters. And you can switch between the two, so you can have monsters riding on top of the main characters, or the characters can ride on top of monsters. It looks really cool, and I'm excited about that. Tomb Raider was also shown off. The Rise of Tomb Raider, or Tomb Raider Rise? I forget the full title. But anyway, I was actually very interested in the first rebooted Tomb Raider game. It looks really cool. I haven't played it, but I want to a lot. And the new game looks like, you know, taking the reboot and going bigger and better with it. So it looks great. Tomb Raider, whatever it's called. And then Kingdom Hearts 3 was shown off. This was actually at the Square Enix press conference, so I jumped forward today. But Kingdom Hearts 3 was shown off, and it looks beautiful. Oh my gosh, they showed a lot of gameplay alongside a cinematic trailer, and it just looks stunning. It looks so beautiful, and I love Disney, and I like parts of Final Fantasy. The Kingdom Hearts games are really cool. I've only played the first one, and it was a lot of fun. Kingdom Hearts 3 looks great. It really does. I was impressed. Speaking of the Square Enix press conference, it was terrible. That was the only one I watched other than Nintendo's digital event, and I wish I hadn't watched it because it was just so boring. I'm just going to reaffirm what everybody else said, basically, that Square Enix, you could tell that it was their first rodeo, their first time doing this kind of big event on their own, and they didn't seem very prepared. There was just like, it was like 80% talking and 20% showing their games, and most of what they talked about they didn't show anything of it, which was like, okay, cool, you know, I don't mind if people talk about their games, but when you just kind of when you show like a 30-second cinematic trailer and then you just talk for like 10 minutes about this is what the gameplay is going to be, and you don't show anything, it means nothing. Because I've heard developers talk about their games a lot before without showing anything, and then the final product, it doesn't really live up to the talked about hype. So, oh well. It was a very boring press conference. I'm glad I didn't watch all of the day one press conferences and just got the highlights. But anyway, out of that press conference, Kingdom Hearts 3, very cool looking. Also, I want to touch on Disney Infinity, which I know isn't probably on the radar of a lot of like main gamers, whatever you want to call yourselves, including me, but I love Disney, and the Disney Infinity games look great. I haven't played them, but they look wonderful. And Disney Infinity 3.0, which is coming out this year, they already announced that it includes a lot of Star Wars stuff, which is awesome. Star Wars, yes please. But they announced at E3 that they're also adding Boba Fett to the lineup of already announced characters, which should get lots of Star Wars fans excited because Boba Fett is a really cool character. So that's awesome. That was kind of an announcement that flew under the radar. I actually found out about it. I forget how I found out about it, but it wasn't off of a major website that was covering E3. So I thought I'd mention that. Boba Fett in Star Wars, in Disney Infinity 3.0. Cool stuff. So anyway, that is it, I think. Let me double check. Yes, that is it for... Oh! I forgot one thing from the Square Enix press conference, which was Star Ocean. Oh, shoot. What's the title? What's the subtitle? I forget. It's... Oh, Integrity and Faithlessness. Weird subtitle. But anyway, they showed off a pretty lengthy trailer for it that includes some gameplay, some cinematics. It looks awesome. Star Ocean is a pretty great series, so that was also cool. And anyway, that's it for the non-Nintendo stuff. All the trailers to games I talked about are in the description below. Let me know in the comments, what was your favorite thing from E3 that was newly announced? So, you know, was it from day one? Was it, you know, Recore or Horizon or For Honor? Or was it, you know, the remake of Final Fantasy VII? I know that excited a lot of people. Or Star Ocean or Kingdom Hearts 3. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite game that was newly announced. So, not Kingdom Hearts 3 or Star Ocean. We already knew about those. Final Fantasy VII Remake counts because that nobody knew about that before. So anyway, that's it for this one. Next time, I'll be talking about Nintendo stuff. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching. This has been Tadpole Superhero, recapping and reacting. That's the other word. Recapping and reacting to this year's E3 2015. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.